Now, if you guys know me, you know there's not much more in life I like than a good decapitation. However, when it pulls on the heartstrings like this one, I just can't, I can't, my friend, I can't. So this chapter was very short, it read very quick. However, there is a lot of stuff going on in this chapter. For one thing, we have this conversation between Yuko and Asa, and I love that it was a conversation. I love that we didn't get into anything else other than the two of them talking, because at the end of the day, they really do care about each other, regardless of all the chaotic shit that just went on within the last couple of chapters. And Yuko really comes here to tell her, like, look, I'm going to be leaving. And she says something very interesting. She says that she has a relative who is a devil hunter that she's going to go to see if there's a way that she can become human again, or fully human again, or separate herself from the Justice Devil, whatever you would have to do to make that happen. I'm wondering if that's going to play into maybe a character that we've seen before, or some new character that's going to show up and basically like run the gamut in this town, in this city, and become sort of this person. I don't know if she's contacted them yet. It doesn't seem like she did, but it is an interesting little line to kind of throw out, to kind of tease perhaps something in the future, and perhaps somebody that would want vengeance for what just happened, or justice, perhaps. Regardless, since this new segment, part 2 of Chainsaw Man, was built up introduction-wise with the Justice Devil, and we had Yuko as the Justice Devil, we might have more of that in the future. But then they have this conversation back and forth, and I think that this really plays into the themes and ideas of Chainsaw Man, because as wacky and crazy as this series gets, it really does have this ultimate theme of loneliness and wanting connection with people. Throughout all of Denji's run in the first half of Chainsaw Man, yes, he wants to touch some tits, don't we all? But it comes down to more than that. It comes down to him not having that genuine connection with anybody and just craving it and wanting it and driving him into this like ultimate simp behavior. But the core reason behind it is simply, you know, there is this thing that exists out there, this connection, this loyalty, this bond between human people that you only get to experience in life maybe a few times, or if you're lucky to experience it all. And it's something that Denji craved, and of course he has that kind of intense perversion horniness to him as well. Relatable, but there's more to it than just that. And I think the same thing is true in this second half of Chainsaw Man, where we built up Asa to begin with, who's kind of outcasted from her school and from the other students and didn't really have this connection with anybody. And now we have Yuko, who admits in this chapter that she wants to be liked by people, and one of the reasons why she accepted this bond with the Justice Devil is so that maybe she could be like Chainsaw Man, and the Chainsaw Man that people are aware of. And I'll get into that a little bit more, because I think that that is going to play into what the ending of this chapter was. But you know, there's a version that you have in your head of somebody when you don't know them on a personal level. And with Chainsaw Man being as famous as he is right now, he is admired by the people, or at least there is a huge subset of people that do like think he's awesome and amazing. And you know, now he's kind of renowned more so than he ever was before. And so from the outside looking in, even though you don't see Denji and the stuff that he has to deal with and the fact that he's not really close to anybody, but they see that sort of admiration, they put him up on a pedestal. And so looking outwards, you're like, I want to be like that person. I want to be known by people. I want people to like me. But there's a difference between superficially liking what you see from the outside, as opposed to actually having a close connection with somebody and really knowing somebody and really liking somebody, which is what happened between Yuko and Asa, where they actually did develop this friendship that they had that was genuine, that was true, that was honest between them, and they felt that together. And even Yuko admits, like, the whole reason she kind of went out of her way to be friends with Asa is just to have a friend. It wasn't even necessarily that there was something specific about Asa, but it was like, I just wanted somebody. I wanted friendship. And that makes the ending of this chapter even more tragic than it actually was. But this plays into like the core themes of everything that Chainsaw Man has always been. With as crazy and wild and insane as the series can get, at the end of the day, a lot of these characters are just very lonely people just looking for something. And I think that also draws the attraction of devils and draws the attraction the attraction of darkness, is because when you are in that kind of despair, when you are kind of distraught, when there's things that you want that you don't have, you're more desperate to do those things, and more desperate to dive into the darker elements of yourself in order to do them. So when Yuko leaves, in order to go find this devil hunter relative that she has. There's this sequence of all of these characters sleeping. Who is this character, by the way? I feel really stupid. Is this the supposed death devil, or was this the student that she had? Like, I was very confused. I feel really stupid. I feel like I should know who this was. But anyways, it does show Asa asleep. It shows Denji asleep with some dogs around him, which I believe are Makima's dogs. And then it shows Yuko asleep. But then, as she's given us our death signal already by making us fall in love with her character and understand her and see what she wants and see that connection and everything and see the friendship and the laughter that she had with Asa, and we feel warm and snuggly inside and everything is good in the universe, and then we pull back and we see a motherfucking decapitated head just on the building. But not only that, it's not just decapitated for the hell of it. You know, sometimes people's heads don't just fall off. Sometimes they do. In Chainsaw Man, I would think. Someone out there has that ability. But instead, it pulls back, and we see a shadow of Chainsaw Man holding her body up as the blood just flows out of the open orifice of her neckness. And she's saying, and she's murmuring in her last moments, Chainsaw Man. I think that this was done very deliberately the way that it was, that we don't see Denji and we only see a shadow of him, because odds are this is setting up multiple things. I think number one, I don't know who this character is. I do not believe this is actually Denji, but I do believe that the purpose of this moment was to build up more resentment between Asa and Chainsaw Man, because we already know the War Devil is just ready to go. Like, she's just, as soon as she saw Denji, Chainsaw Man, she was just like, she took over and she was like, let's go, let's do this. But Asa herself is still just Asa. So giving Asa a prime reason to hate Chainsaw Man is a good idea if you want to begin this confrontation as intensely as it can be. So I think seeing Yuko's death, or knowing about her death, or believing that Chainsaw Man was the cause of her death, is going to cause Asa that resentment and that hatred towards him, which will only benefit the War Devil. So I think somebody did this deliberately in order to pin this on Chainsaw Man so that Asa and the War Devil now have even more in common, become more aligned, because they've already been teasing it. They've already been teasing that we have some mutual goals, we're helping each other out. You know, at first it was like this combat between them, this war between them, but now they're kind of synchronizing a little bit more than they were before. So this is only going to further that and further the War Devil's goal of fighting and killing Chainsaw Man. As well, now, as for who the character could be, we could be dealing with the situation of Denji being sleepwalking or, you know, controlled in some way. That is possible. But also, I think that Death Devil that we saw before, supposedly she was either the Death Devil or the Hunger Devil, Famine Devil, whatever you want to call it. I believe it's the Death Devil, but we'll see as time goes on. I think that somebody is being the manipulator here and having their hands, you know, all within this stew that is brewing. And I think that that's her. So whether or not she created an image of Chainsaw Man, you know, was able to shapeshift in some way, or was able to control Denji to do it, I think that the purpose behind it is to create more tension between Asa and Chainsaw Man, to have Asa and the War Devil, you know, kind of on the same page about what they're going to do moving forward. I don't know, because just having Denji's shadow is something very, very specific and deliberate, and I don't, if we were going to have some reveal of Denji is the one that did it, I don't see why they wouldn't just show that. You know what I mean? I don't know why they just wouldn't show Denji actually doing it. But regardless of what it is, I think that this is a really awesome cliffhanger. I like that we've sort of ended this segment with Yuko. You know, as much as I did like her, I did warm up to her, I did enjoy her character, even when she was killing a bunch of people. You know, I kind of liked her. But I think that this makes sense for the story moving forward. I think that we're going to be introducing some new characters, and I think that Asa's going to find out about this probably sooner rather than later. That's my opinion. But anyways, guys, if you have read chapter 111 of Chainsaw Man, let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. Give me your thoughts, theories, ideas. Go ahead and just tell me what you think about it down below. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And if you want to, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because one, I am trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I'd appreciate it if you help me get there. Two, if we do, I'm going to have a giant pizza party, and you're all invited. And three, I love you.